Hey everybody, welcome to the Legend Best podcast. I am your host, Courtney Gavin. Thanks so much for tuning in today. So I know that one of your favorite episodes ever is the how to eliminate toxic people. Funny enough, we had no idea that people were really going to like that episode, but I'm just so happy that you guys let us know, and I can see from the analytics, it is actually like the top. It's that one and the college, the one about whether college is worth it or not, are like the two top biggest, most popular episodes. So speaking of toxic people, I really wanted to shed light on when it comes to dealing with people. There are a lot of disappointments sometimes when we're dealing with people because we expect them to be like ABC, but instead they're more like XYZ. And so I encourage you guys at Legend Vest Nation that it's important to love people for who they are. Remember when I talk about loving yourself for who you are and accepting yourself? We got to do the same thing for other people, because if we hold them to a certain standard or hold them to a false expectation, that's probably the better word I'm looking for, we're gonna get disappointed. So it's really important to fall in love with that person for who they are, not for their potential. I made that mistake, actually made that mistake with an ex-boyfriend. I really liked his potential. I mean, everything looked great, but the problem was who he was. And with who he was, I just couldn't expect anything from him because that's just not who he was. And so I encourage you guys to maybe think about some people in your life that have disappointed you. You know, it could be a former boyfriend, girlfriend, it could be a best friend, it could even be a family member, right? Or someone that you work with, and maybe you thought that they were supposed to do things, you know, ABC, and supposed to do things to your standard and to your liking and how you expect them to be, but they're really not. And that there could be, you know, 1,000 different reasons for that. But I think that what we tend to do is we tend to tell people, no, this is what you should be doing. And a lot of times, most of the time, we're probably right. They probably should be doing those things the way you want them to be doing. However, the problem is, they're not you, and they're not somebody else. And so we can't compare that person to somebody else in our life. Oh man, I wish you were more like her. Or man, I wish you were more like him. Nobody ever wants to hear that, okay? So the thing is, we're all individuals. We have to embrace those people for who they are. Because if you continue to put them in this box, that they're not supposed to be in that box, right? It just doesn't fit. It's not who they are. If we continue to do that, we're going to be disappointed. And you know what could happen is we could build resentment towards that person for them not being who we want them to be. No, just let it go. Let them be who they want to be. They have to be able to change completely on their own terms. We can't force people to change. We can't force them to get into this line of work. We can't force them to do this when we want them to do this. They are who they are. We can't control people. But the best thing I can tell you is that if you do want them to change, and maybe you want them to change for their benefit, right? Maybe it's a bad habit that they do, right? Maybe they're doing drugs or something and you want them to stop. Or maybe they're just not doing things how you would want to do them. What I encourage you to do is number one, pray. I always pray for people. But number two, I always not only do I pray for them, but I pray to God, and I say, I pray that you open their hearts and their minds so that they can be open-minded to change. I can't force people to change. The only person that can really change themselves besides themselves is God. So if you want them to change, I would bring that to God and pray to Him and ask that you give them an open heart and an open mind to be ready for change. And then secondly, embrace them for who they are. You just have to love them for who they are. And if you can't do that, then maybe you need to think about the relationship you have with that person, and maybe it's best that you two separate or no longer be friends or no longer be in a relationship or whatever it is, and just distance yourself, or maybe love them from a distance. But I really think it's important that, you know what, they are who they are, and I wouldn't expect them to change. I wouldn't tell them to change. I would just be honest with yourself and say, you know what? It's okay, and it is what it is, and it's who they are, and we just can't change people. I just really want you guys to, I see this a lot, and so it's something that's been on my mind lately, and I wanted to let y'all know that, hey, maybe there's somebody in your life that you just wish that they would change. I mean, I would start with prayer first, but you gotta love them just for who they are, you guys. I mean, you would want the same too, right? Nobody wants to change on somebody else's terms, right? We want to change when we're ready to change, right? Like, I signed up for a personal trainer this weekend. I'm ready to change. Nobody told me I needed to change, okay? Because that doesn't work. You know, it might work for a hot second, but then they bail out and they don't commit to it because it's not who they are and they weren't ready for it. So stop trying to put stuff down their throat, trying to get them to change and do this. No, like, I know you love them. I know you want what's best for them, but they have to come to terms on their own. It's not like they probably don't know what you're talking about, but you have to let them come to those terms, because no matter what you do, you can't force them anyway. So you may as well just love them and pray for them. It's really important, you know, and just think about it this way. What would you want them to do towards you? Would you want them to show you grace, love, and patience for whatever it is that you're going through? Or maybe, you know, so there's a difference too. There's some people who want you to change for their benefit, for that person's benefit, and then there's some people who want you to change because they're concerned for your life or your safety, right? And so I think that when it comes to the life and safety things, it is important to bring to their attention, hey, you know, I'm just concerned. I really love you. I want you to be here. I don't want you to go anywhere, but I'm really concerned about the habit that you have with XYZ. You know, I love you anyway, but I just want to bring your attention that I'm concerned. If there's anything I can do to help, I'm here. The biggest thing you can do in that situation is show support. Show that you love them. Don't just say you got to change and, you know, why are you doing drugs? That sucks. No, you need to understand their situation. You need to show that you can give them your support, because a lot of times people are afraid to change because of what other people may think. So if you can extend a hand and say, hey, I know you're going through this. I know, you know, whatever, but I'm here. If you can just say, I'm here for you, whatever you need, then that person may actually be more open to change. And then on the flip side, for those of you who just want people to change just for your benefit and just for your convenience, guys, that's selfish. You know, we can't expect people to be like someone else or some fake image in our head. Like, that's just not who they are. Who knows? They may turn out to be like that later in life, but you will be happier in the long run if you just accept them for who they are, love them for who you are. You know what you're gonna get, right? Don't expect nothing more, and you'll never be disappointed. And honestly, you guys, I learned that from Jameson, you know, and so it goes in line with the toxic people, because look, it is what it is. You have to take it for what it is. Stop trying to make something out of nothing, and stop trying to make people to be who you want them to be instead of just embracing them for who they are, right? So, like I said, it is what it is. I know this was a short clip, but guys, this is really important. It'll save you a lot of headache and a lot of drama later if you do those things. So I hope this helps. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.